You're listening to the story at Mr. Poensky Reborn. Wishing you a pleasant listening experience. Synopsis. Just as I woke up, a red line of text appeared in my sight. The progress of the female lead's imitation has reached 80%. When the progress reaches 100%, your identity as a wealthy, beautiful socialite will be completely replaced by her. A gutter daring to rival the ocean, a mere canal demanding to be equated with a hydroelectric dam. Oh, I'm Audrey Sterling, the darling daughter of the Sterling Group, with a monthly allowance of 150,000 USD, dining at high-end restaurants, and carrying limited edition handbags. Yet, someone wants to imitate my every step to steal my entire life. A cold voice sounded in my head. Warning, the successful swap will result in you being burdened with crippling loan shark debt and expulsion from college due to leaked explicit photos. I froze. The person I called my close roommate. She was quietly learning my way of speaking. My walk. Even imitating my waist-length hair into waves identical to mine. I traveled abroad and casually posted a photo on social media. She commented that the background was fake. The next day, sure enough, the same photo appeared on her account, with the exact same background. Underneath were a bunch of flatterers. "You're so chic, queen. How can I be friends with you?" She imitated me from my tone of voice and clothing to her demeanor. Outsiders criticized her imitation as overly aggressive, yet she just smiled as if she was incredibly proud. Fine, I looked in the mirror, clutching the hair I'd cared for 18 years. Snip. With a decisive cut of the scissors, I shaved my head bald. I truly can't understand how someone could be so audacious in this world. Madison Hayes, my roommate, was like a shadow every day. What did I wear? She wore it too. Where did I go? She trailed right behind. At first, I simply thought it was admiration, but when she cut her waist-length hair and changed it to big, identical waves, I knew this had crossed a line. My best friend, Chloe Davis, finally couldn't hold back and bluntly criticized her. "Madison, are you sick? It's bad enough you imitate Audrey every day, but now even the hairstyle is identical. It's truly disgusting." Everyone in the dorm had tried to persuade Madison more than once, telling her to be herself. "Your imitation is too much," but she just laughed it off, continuing to follow my every tiny detail, as if wanting to slowly transform into me. This time was no different. Facing Chloe's interrogation, she calmly stroked her wavy hair, her tone completely unembarrassed. "Everyone has the right to pursue beauty. What if I like wavy hair? Is this hairstyle trademarked to Audrey Sterling? Can no one else get a perm?" Before I could reply, a red line of text suddenly flashed before my eyes. Imitation progress 80%. Warning, when the progress reaches 100%, your identity as a wealthy, beautiful socialite will be completely usurped. The female lead deliberately took out crippling loans. When the loan is past due, the female antagonist, you, will bear the debt and be expelled due to leaked explicit photos. I was stunned. It turned out she didn't just want to imitate me, she wanted to become me and push me into hell. An idea flashed in my mind. I gently patted Chloe's shoulder and smiled. "It's fine, I'm already tired of this hairstyle." Chloe was surprised, but I interjected, "Chloe, didn't Madison just say it? She just coincidentally likes wavy hair. It has nothing to do with me." I deliberately spoke loudly so everyone eating in the cafeteria could hear. All eyes immediately turned to Madison. After a comparison, from her face and figure to the backpack on her back, she was almost an exact copy of me. No one spoke, but their eyes were full of contempt. Madison, too vain to be stared at like that, immediately jumped up angrily. "What's there to be arrogant about? Sooner or later, I'll make you pay." Then she hastily left, face flushed. Chloe turned to tease me. "Are you going to let her off that easily?" I shrugged. "She hasn't broken the law." Chloe gritted her teeth. "At least chew her out. How dare a person like that hold her head up high?" I softened my tone. Getting angry at her would lower my standards. "Besides, you're so pretty, Chloe. Frowning would detract from your beauty." Chloe chuckled but didn't forget to warn me to be careful. In my heart, however, I was burning with anticipation. I'm not afraid of Madison's imitation, I'm only afraid of her stopping. That afternoon, with no class, I left the university and went to the mansion my parents bought for me near the campus in Manhattan, valued at 5 million USD. Standing in front of the mirror, I touched the hair I had grown out for 18 years. Whirr! The clippers ran smoothly over my head. I shaved it bald. The comments frantically poured in like a storm across the screen. The female antagonist is gone. Shaving her head bald to take revenge on the female lead? Is this giving up or a counterattack? I must say, the socialite's skull is beautiful. She's still gorgeous even bald. It's a shame this is practically gifting the female lead progress. When I returned to the dorms with pink hair, Madison's face changed color, and she immediately asked, "Audrey, why did you suddenly change your hairstyle when everything was fine? And such a flamboyant color, it simply disgraces our school. Go change it back." I gave a cold laugh. How does my hairstyle change concern you? Also, is there a school rule that says students can't dye their hair pink? Madison knew she was being unreasonable. She changed the subject. I'm not saying there's a rule. It's just that pink doesn't suit you. As soon as she heard that, Chloe Davis immediately rushed to my defense. Are you serious? My sister is born beautiful. Is it your turn to criticize? Pink is indeed demanding, especially not suited for an African native like you. The comments reappeared. The best friend's mouth truly knows how to talk. The female lead is green with rage. I'm dying of laughter. It's no wonder the female lead is jumping up and down. She spent all the loan shark money. Now the balance is alarming. She only has over 50 USD left in her card. Ha ha ha. I'm dead. The female lead changed her look. She doesn't have enough money to change it back. All for nothing. I admit I spoke a little too loudly before. The female antagonist truly knows how to capture hearts. Oh, I didn't expect such an unexpected harvest. But I still underestimated Madison's determination to steal my identity. The next day, while I was choosing a wig at the mansion, my phone suddenly received a message from Chloe Davis. Audrey, when are you coming back to school? Accompanied by 2 photos and the text, I can't, I'm about to die laughing. The imitator imitated you and dyed her hair pink. She looks exactly like a cross-dressing drama queen, ugly to an unbelievable degree. In the photo, Madison with pink hair looked like a pink flamingo. It turned out that today Madison had spent 10 USD on a box of hair dye and borrowed someone else's straightener in the dorm. After struggling for hours, she managed to make her hairstyle 70% similar to my wig. I slightly curled my lips, taking a black big wavy wig off the display rack and putting it on. I wonder what kind of expression Madison will have when she sees my new style. When I returned to the dorms wearing the black wavy wig, Madison was standing in front of the mirror, grinning and pulling at her pink hair. Her cheap dye didn't hold color well, so the ends of her hair were quickly starting to turn a sickly yellow. Audrey, you're finally back. Hearing the sound, Madison struck a pose that she thought was very beautiful. It's a little inconvenient to say, Audrey, but I also think pink is very pretty. When she saw my new hairstyle clearly, her pupils contracted. Why did you change your hairstyle again? I gently stroked the end of the wig, speaking carelessly. I thought about it, and you're right. Pink is too flashy. Black suits me better. Audrey, Madison was trembling with anger, unable to utter a complete sentence. Chloe Davis didn't forget to chime in. Madison, why aren't you smiling anymore? Is it your nature not to like smiling? This best friend truly understands the drama empresses in the palace. That she could use this is hilarious. I can't stop laughing. Don't say that. Our cold princess at least has an online appearance. The female lead, with her skin tone and that pink, truly looks like a mobile dragon fruit. The female lead is struggling without resources but is still persistent. This is the advanced version of Chi-Chi's imitation, Chi-Chi's tantrum. Madison was so angry that she skipped dinner, hiding under her blanket, not knowing what to do. I wore the black wavy wig and leisurely drank soup with Chloe Davis in the cafeteria. What do you think? Will she dye her hair back to black tomorrow? Chloe Davis poked the broccoli in her bowl. I bet 20 USD she definitely will. Just as I was about to speak, the comments in front of me suddenly became dense. My dear female antagonist, you've been ambushed. The female lead is using voice-changing software to call the female antagonist's mother. She's imitating the female antagonist's spoiled voice, saying she doesn't have enough spending money, and asking her to love her more. Damn, this method is so insidious. Does she want to use family affection to speed up the replacement progress? My hand holding the spoon froze. Madison dares to involve my mother? My mother is soft-hearted and easily fooled. If Madison pretends and fakes it like this, she might actually believe it. Chloe Davis saw my troubled face and quickly asked, "What's wrong? Are you thinking about Madison's grotesque appearance and feeling disgusted again?" I shook my head, scooped up a spoonful of soup and swallowed it. Nothing. I just suddenly feel tired of constantly changing my hairstyle. Then what do you want to change? Chloe Davis's eyes lit up. How about a change in style? You would look amazing in a traditional dress. I looked at the message my mother sent on my phone screen. Daughter, I've transferred 200,000 USD to your card. Don't worry about spending money. Oh, right, that little girl Madison in your dorm treats you well. I've transferred 15,000 USD to her as a thank you gift for taking care of you. She's smart. All right. Being blocked here by me, she immediately turned to my mother for money. But the Sterling Group's money isn't easy to take. What's the point of changing styles? I put my phone on the table. If I'm going to change, I'll change into something she can't imitate. The comments immediately flooded the screen. Is the female antagonist coming up with a new prank? So looking forward to it. Suddenly I feel a little sorry for the female lead. Ha ha ha. She's about to be utterly destroyed by the female antagonist. The female lead's values are all wrong. She deserves to be corrected. Wouldn't it be better to just be docile? Yet she still yearns to steal someone else's identity. She deserves to be tormented by the female antagonist. What do you say? Facing Chloe's curious gaze, I slightly curled my lips. Next Wednesday is my birthday. It's not too much to treat the whole class to dinner, is it? On my birthday, I booked the entire hotel. Madison was so angry her teeth ground. She left in a huff within minutes of arriving at the hotel. Audrey, did you see her expression just now? It was hilarious. Chloe Davis gloated. She thought imitating your clothes meant she could become you. Today, let her see the difference between the genuine article and the $9.99 knockoff with free shipping. I just remained silent. With her personality, she certainly won't give up easily. Sure enough, she didn't stay quiet for long. On Friday evening, she suddenly sent a message in the class group, along with a location tag for the trendiest private club in Manhattan. I earned a little extra money working part-time recently. Tonight, I'd like to treat everyone to KTV to relax. The time is 7:00 p.m. Everyone please come support. The news of Madison inviting the whole class to the private club quickly spread. The group chat immediately became lively. Someone joked, Sister Madison must have struck it rich. Madison pretended to be humble for a few sentences, then suddenly tagged me in the group. Audrey, are you coming? I didn't even get to have a drink with you at your birthday party last time. I had just finished my face mask. As my finger scrolled across the screen, the comments flooded in again. The female lead is really spending big. This private club has a minimum consumption of 1,000 USD per person. She threw all the 15,000 USD Audrey's mother gave her into this. That's not all. I just saw her filling out the info on the Loan Shark app, borrowing 20,000 USD with an incredibly high installment interest rate. She's calculated this cleverly. She wants to use this to build a humble second-generation rich image and speed up the replacement process. My dear female antagonist, Chloe Davis happened to see the message in the group and couldn't help but sigh to me. Where did she get the money? Did she rob a bank? I chose an orange-red lipstick, meticulously applying it in the mirror. Who knows? Maybe she won the lottery. Exactly at 7 o'clock, Chloe Davis and I arrived at the private club. The room was already packed. Madison was wearing a newly bought dress, identical to the one I was wearing. She imitated my demeanor from the previous birthday party, smiling brightly and saying, Everyone, don't be shy, order whatever you want, I'll pay tonight. She saw me, and her eyes lit up. She deliberately raised her voice, Audrey, you're here. Hurry and sit down, I saved a spot especially for you. Chloe Davis clearly disliked her, muttering, fake. I didn't respond to her, walking straight to the song selection table and casually choosing an old, lesser-known song. Chloe Davis whispered in my ear, look at her dress. It's a knockoff, right? The threads haven't even been cleanly cut. While we were talking, Madison brought 2 glasses of champagne and offered them to me. Audrey, I was wrong about what happened before. You are the bigger person. Please don't take it to heart. With so many people watching, if I didn't forgive her, I would look petty. I accepted the drink, clinking glasses with her. It's all in the past. Her phone suddenly rang. The comments directly displayed the Loan Shark account message reporting that the money had arrived. 20,000 USD had just entered her account. Clear skies and sunshine. She feels she's all right again. She doesn't remember any of the disadvantages she suffered from the female antagonist. She doesn't have money but insists on putting on a show. Wait and see her get embarrassed. Sure enough, Madison looked at her phone and became much more confident. She turned and said to everyone, "Don't just sit there. Order fruit and snacks freely. Order a few more bottles of the most expensive wine." A few boys cheered her on. When the staff brought the wine list, she didn't think twice, saying, "Go for the most expensive kind." I looked at her pretentious display of generosity and suddenly found it a little funny. She probably thought this 20,000 USD could last until morning, but she didn't know that one bottle of high-end foreign wine at this private club was already 10,000 USD. After a few drinks, the atmosphere in the room became lively. Madison grabbed the mic, saying she wanted to dance to liven things up. She even deliberately walked up to me. "Audrey, how about we dance together?" She clearly wanted to use the alcohol to compete with me in beauty in front of everyone, solidifying her image as the replacement. Just as I was about to refuse, Madison's phone suddenly rang. She looked at the caller ID, and her face instantly turned pale. Just as she hung up, the door to the private room was abruptly pushed open. When the private room door was pushed open, it wasn't the service staff who entered, but three men in black suits with cold, intimidating expressions. The leader walked straight up to Madison and held a collection notice in front of her. "Ms. Hayes, the 20,000 USD you borrowed from Quick Loan, plus the late fees, now totals 30,000 USD. It's time to pay." A flicker of panic crossed Madison's face, but she quickly calmed down. "You must have the wrong person, right? I don't know you. Whether it's the wrong person or not, I think you know perfectly well. Do you want us to take out the photo you left at our company for verification?" The debt collector sneered, pointing at the empty bottles of Royal Salute on the table. "These few bottles of wine must cost tens of thousands of USD, right? Ms. Hayes has money to spend here but doesn't want to repay the loan. Do you think we're easy to deal with?" The entire private room instantly fell silent. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Madison. Not wanting her efforts to build an image to collapse, she gritted her teeth and said to the debt collector, "Isn't it just 30,000 USD? Give me the account number." I raised an eyebrow. It seemed she planned to use the money from one place to cover the debt in another. The 20,000 USD she had just borrowed was now transferred directly to the collection company. The debt collector confirmed the money was received before leading his subordinates away. Before leaving, he said meaningfully, "Ms. Hayes is generous. If you have any needs in the future, you can look for us. Immediate disbursement is guaranteed." Madison immediately dismissed them. "No need. I don't even look at your small amount of money. This time was just for fun." The debt collector shrugged, not exposing her. After all, the money was received. There was no need to offend a potential customer. Borrowing money is a slippery slope, never just once, but countless times. She has tasted the sweetness of borrowing money to spend and certainly won't stop easily. Watching the debt collectors leave, Madison finally breathed a sigh of relief. She turned her head and explained to her classmates, "I happened to download a Loan Shark app last time and forgot about it because the amount was too small. I didn't expect them to show up here." "Really?" Madison helplessly covered her forehead. "I made everyone laugh. I'll pay tonight. Feel free to order more food and drinks." The classmates looked at each other, then laughed along. "I knew it. Sister Madison is so rich. How could she take out Loan Shark debt?" Madison looked pleased. "Of course. I couldn't help but laugh softly. If the comments hadn't reminded me of her current financial situation, I would have been fooled by her acting. The only hard thing about her is her mouth. After paying the 30,000 USD, she now only has about 10,000 USD left. Tonight's expenses will be at least 50,000 USD. I'd really like to know how she plans to pay this astronomical bill. Audrey, do you think with Madison's meager assets, she can afford tonight's bill?" My best friend Chloe Davis whispered in my ear. Actually, the roommates all advised Madison to cut her coat according to her cloth, but Madison is so vain. Who knows? I glanced at Madison, seeing her holding her phone distractedly. From the comments, I knew she wanted to continue borrowing from loan sharks, but because she owed too much, no platform would lend to her now. "Everyone, keep playing. I'm going to the restroom for a bit." Watching Madison leave the private room with her phone, the classmates worried, "She won't run away, will she? Tonight will cost at least tens of thousands of USD. I don't have that much money." "Exactly. I've already spent this month's allowance. If she hadn't said she was treating, I wouldn't have come." I put down my wine glass. "Relax. If she really runs away, I'll pay the bill tonight." My best friend Chloe Davis immediately echoed, "You're my best friend." So generous. The others followed suit. After all, they were just ordinary college students. This was truly a huge amount of money, but for me, it was just pocket money. Madison, because she wants to replace me, absolutely won't run away tonight. I'm just curious about how she plans to handle tonight's bill. I got up and left the private room, seeing Madison nervously pleading with the manager. Manager, I don't have that much money. Can you please be accommodating? I can work here part-time to pay off the debt. If you can't pay the bill, we'll call the police. You can discuss it with the police. The manager was polite but unyielding. I thought she had a brilliant idea. I didn't expect her to beg the private club manager. This isn't a charity organization. How could they agree to her ridiculous request? Just as the manager was about to call the police, Madison suddenly looked toward me for help. Audrey, can you lend me some money first? I'll definitely pay you back later. She tightly clutched the hem of her dress, her eyes pleading as she looked at me. If I hadn't seen the comments, I might have been soft-hearted and helped her. But now I had other plans. If you don't have money, why pretend? Now you're in a hurry. You deserve it. Chloe Davis had walked up beside me without me knowing. She rolled her eyes at Madison. I can't stand her face. I'm afraid you'll get taken advantage of. Seeing my best friend whisper in my ear, I slightly curled my lips. When Chloe Davis was little, she accidentally fell into the water. I was the one who saved her. Therefore, for all these years, she has not only obeyed me but also fiercely fought against anyone with bad intentions towards me, not letting me suffer even a little loss. It's hard to imagine that if Madison truly stole my identity, would my best friend also become hers? What are you thinking? Chloe Davis saw me distracted and gently patted my arm. Nothing. I just suddenly feel lucky to have you. Of course. We're best friends. After Chloe Davis finished speaking, her eyes turned back to Madison. You're not going to help her, are you? Even though you can afford the money, with all the things she's done before. Relax, I'm not foolish. I comforted her. Chloe Davis nodded. That's good. I was worried you'd be soft-hearted. I walked up to the manager. What's the total bill for the private room tonight? The total is $55,000 USD. We'll round it down to $55,000 USD. Madison immediately grabbed my hand, pleading, Audrey, I was wrong before. Can you help me? I pulled her hand away. $55,000 USD is not a lot of money to me. Madison smiled, thanking me, but I didn't agree to pay for you. What do you mean? $55,000 USD is truly a trivial amount of money to me. Then why won't you lend it to me? It's not that I won't lend you the money, it's just, Madison, I leaned close to her. From what I know, your parents are just ordinary salaried workers. Why should I trust you have the ability to repay the debt? Madison's face instantly turned pale. Chloe Davis was not polite, immediately scolding her. Exactly. I think you don't want to borrow money, you just want a free meal, right? Dreaming of using Audrey's money to show off. Keep dreaming. The comments were also lively. The best friend said it well. The female lead originally didn't intend to pay. She's playing the victim now only because if she doesn't have money, she'll go to jail, which will affect her replacement plan. She still won't give up at this point. The female lead is truly a cockroach that can't be killed. A cockroach wouldn't do this crow stealing the magpie's nest thing. Don't insult the cockroach. I remember her mission has a time limit, right? No wonder she's so anxious, but the female antagonist has seen through her. Completing the mission is harder than reaching the sky. A mission with a time limit? That's right. If there was no time limit, wouldn't I always have to be anxious? Having gained this important clue, I won't make things difficult for her anymore. I can pay this bill? Madison quickly asked, but I need you to admit in front of the whole class that the money for tonight's treat was falsely claimed by you. Madison's expression immediately crumbled. She looked at me, stammering, if I tell them the truth, how will I ever face them again? Then go to jail. $55,000 USD is at least 3 years in prison. Chloe Davis was truly my spokesperson, not holding back at all. Madison hesitated for a moment, then finally agreed. Fine, I'll tell them the truth. You won't go back on your word, right? This small $55,000 USD, do you think I can't afford it? As soon as I said this, I clearly saw the resentment in Madison's eyes. It seems she's truly jealous now, but I won't let her achieve her wish. Madison followed us, not too far, not too close. Just as I was about to push open the private room door, Madison suddenly knelt down in front of me with a thump. Classmate Audrey, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. Chloe Davis and I were both shocked. No one expected Madison to pull this stunt. My shoulder was suddenly pushed hard. I couldn't stand firm, and my body slammed against the wall. "Audrey, are you okay?" I frowned and shook my head, not wanting her to worry. Chloe Davis couldn't help but be indignant. "Hey, are you blind? You ran right into someone." The person didn't pay attention to Chloe Davis. Instead, he helped Madison up from the ground where she was kneeling. "Are you all right?" Madison shook her head, but her eyes were slightly red. "Did they bully you?" Madison glanced at Chloe Davis and me, then feigned fear, unconsciously retreating a step. Chloe Davis already disliked Madison. Now seeing her green tea act, her temper immediately flared. "Madison, explain yourself clearly. Don't make it look like we bullied you." The man shielded Madison behind him. When he looked up, his eyes were full of dissatisfaction and disgust towards us. It was only then that I clearly saw his face. Ethan Thorne, my childhood fiancé. I didn't expect him to appear here. The comments once again instantly flooded the screen. "Damn, the male lead has appeared. No, they don't go to the same school. How do they know each other? Did the user upstairs forget? The female lead has a separate system. She used accumulated points to exchange for the male lead's information, deliberately feeding stray cats where he passed by, attracting the male lead's attention. I remember that after the female lead successfully stole the female antagonist's identity, her personality changed drastically, causing the female antagonist's parents to become suspicious. So, she went all the way, finding a killer to murder them. The user upstairs remembered correctly, but the first time she killed someone, she left a loophole. It was the male lead who helped her clean up the mess. The male lead knew all along that the female lead wasn't the female antagonist, yet he was still willing to help her with these things. One can only say it's true love. What true love? The male lead is overly self-conscious. Both his family background and his ability are inferior to the female antagonists, so he doesn't dare face his feelings for her, instead giving his so-called love to the clinging female lead. There's no true love in wealthy families. After the female antagonist's parents died, the female lead inherited all the assets. These things ultimately fell into the male lead's hands. To put it simply, he's a gold digger. Looking at the comments on the screen, I clenched my fist. I couldn't understand why Ethan Thorne hated me so much before. No matter how I tried to please him, he never wanted to look at me twice. He even deliberately chose a different university to spite me. I thought he simply disliked the marriage arranged by the elders and was rebelling. Now I know the truth. It's all because of ridiculous self-esteem. But clearly, he was the one who promised to take care of me for life back then. I didn't expect him to be so heartless towards me, nor did I expect him to conspire with Madison to completely ruin the Sterling family. Since childhood, my parents treated him like a family member. I thought even if he was indifferent to me, he would at least remember my parents' kindness. I didn't expect him to be an ungrateful wretch who couldn't be tamed. He wants to conspire with Madison to seize the Sterling family's assets. Well, they have to have the capability first. Audrey Sterling, I truly didn't misjudge you. You are an opportunistic bully. Ethan Thorne, if your eyes are no good, donate them. How dare you publicly slander Audrey for a dead, green tea? Don't forget she is your fiancé. What fiancé? It was just a casual joke made by family elders. Ethan Thorne said with contempt. Audrey, stop dreaming. I'd rather marry a pig than marry you. Chloe Davis was furious. She rushed forward to argue with Ethan Thorne but was held back by me. I didn't get angry. I just looked at Madison standing behind him with calm eyes. Classmate Madison, do you want to explain what just happened? I don't know. Madison stuttered, her face clearly showing confusion. Just now, I was wondering why Madison suddenly changed her attitude. It turned out she deliberately put on a show in front of Ethan Thorne. I truly underestimated her acting ability. If she truly had no capacity to resist, this game would be a bit boring. I slightly curled my lips. Then let me remind you. You invited the whole class to the private club, and when it was time to pay, you said you had no money. I kindly offered to help you, and this is how you treat me? With every word I spoke, Madison's face paled a little more. The door to the private room wasn't fully closed. The classmates sitting inside heard the commotion and all stood up and came out, their eyes full of curiosity and judgment aimed at Madison. I knew it. Madison doesn't have money. She still pretends to be extravagant. I don't know what she's thinking. She's practically pointing to Audrey to pay, and after failing to pay, she even blames her. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Her face is thicker than a city wall. If it were me, I'd find a hole to crawl into. Madison's eyes immediately reddened. She sobbed softly, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been oblivious to my own status. I just wanted to get along well with everyone. It's just that I didn't expect the expenses here to be so high. I'm not like classmate Audrey, who is so wealthy that she can book an entire hotel for her birthday. Everyone likes her. Haha, a typical green tea statement, feigning pity while deliberately taking a jab at me. Ethan Thorne immediately took the bait. Audrey Sterling, you're relying on your family's wealth to act unscrupulously. A person like you doesn't deserve genuine affection. Classmate Madison just wanted to invite friends to gather. Not only did you not help, but you publicly made things difficult for her. Is this the education of your Sterling family? Madison timely tugged on his sleeve, whispering timidly, Ethan, don't say any more. It's my fault for being useless. That look of wanting to speak but holding back, full of grievance, made it seem like I had truly done something to her. Don't be afraid. With me here, no one can bully you. I looked at their clumsy performance and couldn't help but applaud, my tone full of sarcasm. Such good acting. Would you like me to present an award to the two of you? Audrey, you don't need to speak in veiled language here. Isn't it just 55,000 USD? Dreaming of crushing someone's dignity with this small amount of money. Keep dreaming. After speaking, he pulled out his black card and slammed it into the manager's hand, his actions so forceful it was as if he was angry at someone. Swipe the card. I'll pay this bill. Madison's eyes immediately lit up. She nestled next to him, her voice soft. Ethan, why are you being so formal with me? Ethan Thorne lowered his head and looked at her with a gentle gaze I had never seen, a look full of adoration and protectiveness. With me here, no one will dare to let you suffer any injustice in the future. The comments frantically scrolled across the screen. Damn, this male lead is terminally blind. If it weren't for the Sterling family's help these past few years, the Thorne family would have gone bankrupt. He's using the female antagonist's family's resources to support his mistress and yet turns around and despises the female antagonist? Disgusting. This green tea, female lead is truly cunning. With just a few words, she managed to awaken the male lead's protective instinct. I feel so sorry for my dear female antagonist. She's being disgusted by this dog and bitch in cahoots. Wait a minute, everyone look at the female antagonist's expression. She doesn't seem angry at all. Indeed, not only was I not angry, but I actually felt a little relieved. The more Ethan Thorne protected Madison and spent money on her, the more he would expose his stupidity and reliance on my family. He thought he was saving a distressed Cinderella, but he didn't know he was handing the knife to others, stepping into the trap I had set. Since Mr. Thorne is so generous, I won't take this part. I smiled at the manager. Swipe the card and pay. Ethan Thorne thought I had admitted defeat. His chin lifted even higher. At least you know your place. Madison also became arrogant, looking at me with a triumphant gaze. As if winning this trivial competition meant she could completely replace me. She probably forgot that no matter how similar the imitation is, a knockoff can never become the real thing. Chloe Davis stamped her foot in anger. Audrey, are you going to let them be so arrogant? These dogs and bitches are clearly humiliating you. I patted her hand, signaling her to calm down. Ethan Thorne is nothing more than a clown. He won't be jumping around for much longer. On the way back to the private room, Ethan Thorne held Madison's hand the whole time, looking as intimate as a couple who had been in love for years. Madison occasionally turned her head to glance at me, a boastful and triumphant smile on the corner of her lips. The looks from the classmates also became complicated, with sympathy, curiosity, and some even secretly taking photos of us with their phones. I ignored those gazes, walking straight to the sofa, sitting down, and leisurely eating a piece of strawberry cheesecake. Ethan Thorne hugged Madison in his arms and cleared his throat. Please don't take what just happened to heart, everyone. This meal is on me. Everyone just enjoy yourselves. Madison cooperated by lowering her head, her eyes red. Thank you, Mr. Thorne, and thank you all for staying with me. This profound declaration of feelings indeed helped Madison gain quite a bit of sympathy. No one mentioned her false vanity anymore. A few girls even started whispering that Ethan Thorne was an ideal man. I almost choked on my cheesecake. An ideal man? A fool blinded by arrogance, about to single-handedly push himself and his family into the abyss. Does he deserve to be called that? A few hours later, Madison had completely let loose. She held Ethan Thorne's card, ordering a pile of expensive wine and snacks. She even used the alcohol to pull Ethan Thorne into singing a love song with her. Her eyes were glued to him the entire time, as if she couldn't wait to publicly declare their relationship right then and there. Ethan Thorne was so charmed by her that he was mesmerized. The look in his eyes towards me became increasingly displeased, full of disdain. Chloe Davis wanted to rush up and argue several times but was held back by me. "Don't rush," I leaned close to her ear. My voice was so low only the two of us could hear. "The best part is still to come." Chloe Davis looked at me suspiciously. "What scheme are you brewing now?" I smiled without saying anything, my finger lightly tapping on my phone screen. Saved, there was the recording from the hallway where Madison and Ethan Thorne spoke ill of me. Doesn't Madison want to play the innocent White Lotus? Doesn't Ethan Thorne want to be a hero? Then I'll give them a bigger stage so they can perform well. By the time the party ended, Madison was naturally linking arms with Ethan Thorne. The two walked ahead, talking and laughing, looking like a couple deeply in love. Ethan Thorne even thoughtfully helped her carry her bag. He had just bought that bag at the mall next to the private club. It was a limited edition, identical to the one I wore last month. The comments were still lively. Is the female lead planning to attack the male lead because the progress isn't moving? The male lead must not be an idiot, right? Using the female antagonist's family's resources to support the imitator and still feeling great about it? The female antagonist watched the whole drama from beginning to end. I bet she's planning something big. Walking out of the private club, the cold wind made people sober up. Chloe Davis hooked my arm and muttered curses. Ethan Thorne is truly an ungrateful wretch. And Madison's pathetic act? I think she deserves it. I looked at the message I had just received on my phone. My parents had agreed to break off the engagement with Ethan Thorne. How to arrange the specifics was up to me. They truly work fast. Chloe Davis looked even more excited than me. I want to see how long Ethan Thorne can remain arrogant without the Sterling Group's support, that leech. Although her words were harsh, they weren't wrong. The comments reminded me that Madison had relied on Ethan Thorne to push the imitation progress to 95%. Soon, my identity would be completely replaced by Madison. Madison still thinks she's climbed onto a second-generation rich man, but she doesn't know that everything the Thorne family has is thanks to you. Chloe Davis couldn't help but gloat. When the time comes, I'll make them kneel down and sing the song Conquer to you. Audrey, what's wrong? Seeing me a little distracted, Chloe Davis asked with concern. Nothing. I shook my head, a sharp glint flashing in my eyes. I just suddenly feel that simply making her publicly apologize isn't enough. Chloe Davis's eyes lit up. How do you want to teach her a lesson? I'll help you. Doesn't she like imitating me? I looked at the tall building with flashing neon lights in the distance and said softly, then I'll let her see what a true world of difference is, for instance, by letting her imitate a height she can never reach in her entire life. For instance, by letting her know that the Sterling Group's money isn't that easy to take. The comments immediately exploded. Is the female antagonist about to unleash a big move? Expectation level maxed out. The female lead is done for. Quickly crush that crow stealing the magpie's nest to the ground. On the night of the university's 70th anniversary gala, Madison indeed appeared at the party wearing a high-end gown identical to mine. She must have heard somewhere that I would be giving a speech on stage as the student representative, so she arrived half an hour early, posing elegantly at the registration table, accepting the mixed genuine and fake compliments from everyone. The outfit Madison is wearing tonight is so stunning, exactly like the high-end one Audrey wore. If you don't pay attention, it's really hard to tell them apart. I heard she's been very close to young Master Thorne lately. Maybe young Master Thorne paid for it. Madison pretended to blush and lowered her head. No, we're just normal friends. The comments frantically danced before my eyes. The female lead used the male lead's connections to sneak into the VIP area and even stole the female antagonist's speech draft. She plans to read the female antagonist's speech on stage, pretending to be the real rich heiress. So insidious. The female lead only has 5% left to complete her mission. She borrowed another 100,000 USD from loan sharks to buy jewelry, just to completely replace the female antagonist tonight. Chloe Davis stood beside me, her expression unfriendly. Madison is getting more arrogant lately. She even wore an identical dress to yours tonight. I smiled lightly to comfort her. No matter how similar she is, she can't replace me. That's right. A fake is always a fake, Chloe Davis said while provocatively glancing at Madison. This time, Madison didn't flinch. Instead, she raised her head and gave Chloe Davis a provocative smile. The official gala begins. The host publicly announced, "Next, please welcome the student representative, Audrey Sterling, to the stage to give her speech." As the stage lights swept across, Madison suddenly stood up from her seat, walking toward the stage one step ahead of me. "Hello everyone. I'm Audrey Sterling." The auditorium immediately fell silent. Ethan Thorne sat in the front row, his face showing a look of pride, as if the person shining on stage was him. Madison took a deep breath, pulled out her phone, and prepared to read the speech, but when she clearly saw the screen, her face turned pale. The speech she had saved in her notes had, at some point, turned into a screenshot of her chat history with the Loan Shark platform. "What's going on?" She frantically looked up, just in time to meet my half-smile, half-sneer eyes. I slowly walked onto the stage, taking the trembling microphone from her hand. "It seems classmate Madison is too nervous. I'll go instead." As the stage lights focused back on me, the large screen behind the stage suddenly lit up. It wasn't the pre-installed PPT, but Madison's history over the past few months. Her maxed-out credit card bills, her chat history with knockoff sellers, even her ID card photo taken when she borrowed from loan sharks, and the threatening messages from the collection company. Everything was displayed on the screen, not missing a single detail. The most damning part was the final video, Ethan Thorne using the project money sponsored by the Sterling Group to transfer money to Madison, accompanied by the chat history between him and Madison. "Wait until I take over the Sterling family's assets. You can have as many high-end things as you want." The auditorium erupted in chaos. Ethan Thorne suddenly stood up, his face pale with rage, pointing at me. "Audrey, are you crazy?" Madison looked drained of strength, collapsing onto the stage, constantly muttering, "It's over." The comments completely exploded. This is the female antagonist's ultimate move. She stripped the female lead bare. Progress immediately dropped to 0 and reversed by 50%. The system reported the female lead failed the mission due to fraud and debt. Thorne family's stock price plummeted disastrously. The Sterling Group just withdrew all investments and exposed evidence of their tax evasion. I calmly spoke into the microphone. "I believe everyone has heard about classmate Madison imitating me recently, but I didn't expect her to be so bold as to impersonate my identity on such an important occasion." I looked at Ethan Thorne's pale face, the corner of my mouth curving into a cold smile. "But I want to say that a fake is still a fake. It can never be the real thing. As for some people who mistook a carp for a pearl, I hope he won't regret it." Ethan Thorne's phone kept ringing. He held his phone, completely afraid to answer. The entire hall was abuzz. No one expected to witness such a massive scandal live at the university's 70th anniversary gala. This was more fascinating than any other performance. After the gala ended, Madison was intercepted backstage by the debt collectors. She cried and pleaded with Ethan Thorne for help, but she only received a look of disgust from him. Ethan Thorne was beaten by his parents who rushed over. "How could I have given birth to such a bastard? Hurry up and apologize to Audrey. Say you were blinded by arrogance and you know you were wrong." Before Ethan Thorne could speak, I cut them off. "There's no need. A forced melon isn't sweet." I looked at the Thorne parents, my tone firm, without any room for negotiation. Moreover, the Sterling Group has helped the Thorne family enough over the years. My parents are not a charity and cannot afford to suffer losses. The Thorne parents' faces were pale. They knew that the Thorne Corporation was completely unsalvageable this time. They relentlessly cursed Ethan Thorne's stupidity and led him away from the university. Before they left, I saw his unwilling gaze. "Ha! Idiot!" I stood at the end of the hallway, watching Madison being dragged away. The diamonds on her dress fell to the ground, like her shattered illusions. Serves her right. This move completely nailed both of them to the pillar of shame. Chloe Davis was full of admiration, cheering, "Audrey, you're amazing." I smiled lightly. "I received a message from my parents. Daughter, you did a great job. We had been supporting the Thorne family for your sake all these years. We didn't expect to raise such an ungrateful wretch." From that day on, the comments about the replacement progress gradually thinned out. The female lead was forcibly sent back to her rural hometown, having to work 3 jobs to pay off the loan shark debt. She can never raise her head again. The male lead and his father went to jail. The Thorne family's assets were acquired by the Sterling Group, returning to their rightful owner. It's finally over. The female antagonist can finally rest easy and be her wealthy, beautiful socialite self. When the final comment disappeared, I seemed to hear a faint sound, as if an invisible chain in my heart had just shattered. I thought that from today onwards, my life would no longer be written by someone else. Madison's dorm bed had been cleared out. Her belongings were gone, leaving only a pile of debt collection notices. I calmly tossed them into the trash bin and went to the cafeteria with Chloe Davis for soy milk and fried dough sticks. "Where should we go next?" Chloe Davis asked, chewing on a dough stick. I took a sip of the hot soy milk, the sunlight streaming through the window warming the back of my hand. "Let's go to the library. I haven't finished reading the financial history book I borrowed last time." "Ah, Audrey, you're studying again? Are you going to let people live?" "My dear, we still have to inherit the family business later. If we don't understand finance, are we waiting to become the next Ethan Thorne? Study until you can't study anymore. If you don't study yourself to death, then keep studying." Half an hour later, Chloe Davis's wail echoed in the library. "Save me. I can't study anymore." 3 years later, I interned at the family company. Chloe Davis, under the pretext of learning, wormed her way in as my special assistant. I heard that Madison is still doing odd jobs in her rural hometown to pay off debts. Since the Thorne family went bankrupt, no news of them has been heard. The sunlight shone on the desk, reflecting off the contract I had just signed. The handwriting was sharp and decisive. Everything that happened felt like a dream. Chloe Davis handed me a cup of milk tea. "Still thinking about those two?" I smiled lightly, looking into the distance. "No, I just think that truly no one can replace anyone else. Being yourself is the most valuable thing." Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. I truly appreciate your comments, suggestions, and feedback. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.